Hey guys, it's Yorkie here and welcome to the channel for our very first look at the brand new 2023 Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo2. So here we are in the car showroom with one of three new cars for the 2023 GT World Challenge DLC, and we're going to be looking at the Lamborghini. Now, straight away, there are some fairly substantial differences in comparison to the previous generation car. Starting at the front here, slightly different design and shape with the front grille. Also the nose, I believe, actually extends a little bit further down, a little bit closer to the ground, and actually looks a little bit more aggressive, more aerodynamic, possibly benefits there. The front bonnet scoops that are here are also different in comparison to the previous cars. Then coming around behind the front tyre with the wheel arch, there used to be horizontal slats on the previous car, but it's now a single vertical vein down there behind the rear tyre to try and clean up the airflow along the side of the car. Coming towards the rear of the car, this is where you're going to see the majority of the substantial differences between it, or this 2023 model, and the previous generation. Gone is the big intake that was there, kind of over coming off the roof line and kind of down towards the rear wheel arch. Instead, we've got some bodywork that is very, very similar to the Super Trofeo Evo2 that Lamborghini recently released, where we've kind of got this little fin on the side. The wheel arch is actually quite wide and quite heavily flared, that you can see there as you try and get a fairly good angle. Hopefully you can see that. We then also got the air intake at the top, which wasn't there on the previous gen cars. Neither was the shark fin. Again, very, very similar to the Super Trofeo Evo2. And then coming around to the rear bodywork, it's once again very much like the Super Trofeo Evo2 in terms of its overall shape and kind of styling. Very aggressive sort of lines that we've got here. Again, a vertical fin. There's a couple of horizontal fins there, kind of in and around the rear wheel arches, just to try and clean up some of the airflow. Twin pipe rear exhausts, and then of course we've got the swan neck design on the rear wing supports that a lot of the modern GT3 cars tend to be running. But in terms of liveries, we got this BSR team livery here, which is actually the last one in the list. We then got the Iron Lynx cars, probably a little bit more well known. We've got the green number 63, the yellow number 19, and then the pink number 83, the all-female Iron Dames team. We then got Barwell Motorsport with a plain carbon fibre livery with some white and fluorescent yellow highlights, looking quite nice there. And then we got a Squadra Corsa livery here as well, with green, white, red, and some black detailing too. So getting into the car then, let's take a very quick look on the setup before we go out. So starting off with the tyres tab, everything looks all fairly normal and fairly standard here. Obviously pressures, toe, camber, all that sort of thing is kind of being adjusted to match the updated version 1.9 physics, but of course it's a brand new car as well. Electronics on the TC, ABS and TC2, all fairly standard things, kind of going up to 8, 11 there on the ABS and 8 here as well on the TC2. One interesting thing that you'll probably note with the ECU map is it's currently on 3 by the default. Now, I've had a conversation with Aris and asked him about this, and it turns out that actually maps from 1 to 5 all have the same amount of power output. The difference between them is the amount of engine braking on the car. So 3 is the default, kind of fairly standard. Going down to lower values seems to decrease the effect of the engine braking, so making it weaker, allowing the car to coast a little bit more through the corners, and then increasing going up through 4 and up to 5 increases the amount of engine braking, making it more aggressive, making it stronger, and slowing the car more whilst off throttle. Then of course you've got maps 6, 7 and 8 there, your more fuel saving maps where it does reduce the amount of power that you're using, try and save fuel, and also obviously help with wet weather driving should you choose to use those maps that are available to you there. Fuel and strategy, let's go ahead and drop that down just for some driving in a second, as well as the brake pads. Mechanical grip again looks very similar to Lamborghinis of past, quite a number of anti-roll bar clicks as you can see there. Steering ratio, brake bias in around 60.4 as default. The spring rates up to 212 on the front, 121 as the minimum, and then on the rear it goes slightly lower at 191 and then 117, so slightly softer on the rear of the car compared to the front. Number of bump stop range clicks there, as we can see. Anti-roll bars again go up to 10 on the rear, and then we got the usual diff settings as well. believe that was in and around 2. Looks like for dampers up to 40 is the usual sort of range on pretty much everything here that I can see. 49 on the fast damping, which I believe is also very similar to the Audis and previous gen Lamborghinis. And then ride height goes down to 54 on the front of the car. There is no front splitter, obviously rear wing. We have one of those that goes up to 12 clicks on the rear. And then quite a lot of rake that we can put into the car, 54. Let's very quickly just go ahead and not actually accept that. That's not what I wanted to do. What I wanted to do was to go into the aggressive, reload it, and pop that back to where it was previously. Right, let's go ahead, get her fired up, get ourselves out on track. I'll let you guys enjoy the beautiful sounds in this car as well.
Green light, give us all you can.
So, very reminiscent of the V10s that you tend to find in the Lamborghinis and Audis of past. It has a slightly different tone, I think, compared to the previous generation cars. It sounds a little bit more raspy from what I remember. Still a very, very nice sound, nonetheless. Just playing with the dashboard pages here. It looks like it got a number to choose from. That is the default there. Obviously, you can see the tyre pressures, tyre temperatures on that, as well as lap time information. Various ABS, traction control, ECU map settings, all that stuff at the top there. Basically all the vital information that you're going to need. That's with the dark theme. There's a light theme there, but you lose a lot of the important tyre information. The car's sounding good around here at Imola. Feeling fairly good as well. Taking the curves quite nicely with the updated suspension and damper physics. Probably a bit more aggressive there with that that baguette curve that was on the inside. Probably caught it more with the underside of the car than I did the tyre. Overall, I'd say that this car is probably the safest of the 3 cars to actually drive here in this new update. Has a little bit more understeer than the other 2 cars. It's probably more beginner friendly for that reason, but it's still feels pretty quick, playful and competitive nonetheless. Definitely think it's going to be a popular choice for a number of players, especially new players to ACC. And of course, it's got those more aggressive looks as well. I have slightly adjusted the cockpit view here. I am slightly further back than the default view, just to kind of position the camera a little bit better in the cockpit, give you guys a much better view of the dash, and obviously using the Track IR5 kind of feel a bit more further back in the cockpit, as if I'm actually sat there inside the car while still maintaining good perspective around as well. So very nice car to drive, this one. As I say, a little bit understeer. It's mainly on throttle that you can finally understeer. Car is very responsive and compliant. A little bit of oversteered there. And we've gone deep. But you can see, you get hard on the throttle and the car doesn't really fight at the rear. A little bit playful on the way in at times. Nice little bit of rotation there. So yeah, one that I definitely recommend for newcomers and beginners. Let's finish this lap here. Bounce our way through the curbs, unsettling the car just a little bit. There we go, final run to the line. Running just a fraction, a little bit wide, but going to be coming across the line to set almost identical lap time. There you go, a few hundredths difference. How's that for consistency? But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this quick video looking at the Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo2. If you did, please give the video a like. If you've got any comments or questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. And if you're new here, please do consider subscribing. And of course, feel free to check out the other videos on the new Ferrari and Porsche as well. In the meantime though, have fun, stay safe, and take care.